Welcome to a very special edition of Off the Record with Dannie Rogers. We have our first recurring guest on the podcast, Miss Kyndra Decker.
And Daisy.
And Daisy is here. Daisy is a recurring guest.
Yeah, she was in my tummy.
She was in your How far along were you back then?
I think I was like 9 months.
I
was big, yeah.
You about to pop.
I was about to
pop. Can't forget about Mr. Taylor Decker is joining us.
First time guest.
First time guest, but a reoccurring. You come on our content, you do our podcast, and we appreciate you so much, Taylor.
Absolutely.
This is the most beautiful backdrop. Why are we here in Phoenix, Arizona? How did you guys land here?
Oh, so out of college, there's a gym out here. It's called O-Line Performance, and the guy who started the gym, Charles Bentley, he was an Ohio State alumni. So when I was coming out, I was like, man, I would love to train there. So I reached out to him, kind of like build a rapport, build a friendship. And then like towards the end of my senior year, I was like, can I come train out there? Like for, heading into the combine, my rookie year. And he, was awesome. And was like, of course. So my last game was the Fiesta Bowl.
Did you win it?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Who'd you guys beat?
Notre Dame. I think it was like 45 to
great.
24 or something.
We love that.
So I just stayed out here, moved into an apartment with one of my college teammates who at the time was training at the gym also. And I just loved it. I love it out here. The weather's beautiful. When you hear desert and you think Arizona, if you haven't been here, you don't think green. You think like Sahara Desert, like sand dunes and stuff. Yeah. And I got out here and I'm like, just blew my mind. It was amazing. So I was like, man, I'm going to live here every off season because I got the gym and like it's beautiful. Like, why wouldn't I? So.
And Miss Kyndra was already out here.
Yeah, I've lived here. My family's here, so that's obviously where we met. And yeah, it's great. I love Arizona.
And she grew up in this neighborhood, so.
I did. Grew up right down the street. So this is very special to me, especially to be raising Daisy here.
Yeah. How does baby girl like she's 5 months old, clearly teething.
Yeah, teething a little bit. Like I said, her eyes are very sensitive to the sun, so that's a little tough in Arizona. But other than that, she's doing great.
We've gotten her in the pool a couple times.
She was getting used to going on walks, and it's fun.
Doing all the baby things.
Yeah.
She's floating around in her little floaty.
Yeah, we got her like this little floaty where they just like lay back and chill, and she loved it.
She was pretty good in it.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Are you saying hi?
Hi, Miss Daisy.
Say hi.
So Miss Daisy's 5 months old, so she came right in the middle of the football season.
Oh yeah.
How was balancing that?
Do you want to start? Do you want to start on that one?
It wasn't, I think, because of the fact that my mom was there with us, it made the transition a lot easier. Had she not been there, it would have been tough. Daisy's not a great sleeper. She's not a great sleeper. But we figured it out, and obviously we survived, so.
I think it was a lot harder on her than me.
Because your schedule couldn't change much.
No, I have to go to work. Like I have to try and get sleep when I can. So like having her mom there, and then like Kyndra is just like so excited to be a mom. She was like, this is what I was meant to do. So while you're not like prepared for it, like she had the right mindset like for it. Like she was excited about it. There's good days and bad days, but ultimately just, you get to come home. Well, I get to come home and just hang out with her for an hour or two, rock her to sleep and things like that. And
yeah, the bedtime routine was always Taylor's so that he got to spend that time with her because he just wasn't home during the day. Yeah.
So the off season now that like we've gotten into it, that's been where I feel like I've been able to kind of
really be a dad.
Yeah, catch my stride and like
thrive.
Just learn how to be a dad, get to be a dad, and just spend a lot of time with her. And we're super fortunate for that. I actually called my parents, I think it was like a week ago. And I was just like, yeah, I didn't realize like the challenge of being a parent. And I was like, I just want to say thank you because like you guys both worked full-time jobs. I was the youngest of 5. I'm like, wow. Because I didn't go to any childcare or anything like that. It was always my mom and dad. And I was like, geez, like I just couldn't wrap my head around it. I don't have any frame of reference until now. And I was like, man, it's amazing, but challenging at the same time.
What was the craziest dad thing you learned? Or maybe even the craziest thing about a baby that you've learned over the last few months?
I feel like I've told people this who like haven't held a lot of babies. Like when you can, they're pretty sturdy. Like not as newborns, but they get sturdy, and you just kind of like scoop them up, and you just kind of like feel like how they want to like shift their weight and stuff like that, to where you can get to where like you need to be holding them with one hand doing something else. And I'm like, I don't know, it's just a feel thing that you just get used to. And then just like I do the bedtime routine a lot. Sometimes she's not too happy, so you gotta break out some tricks. And
We got our bag of tricks.
yeah, sometimes she wants to stand up and bounce. Sometimes I have this like big like poncho thing that's like really
A
soft.
Barefoot Dreams poncho.
Yeah. And like sometimes if I'm not wearing that, she will not go to sleep.
If you're not wearing
If I'm not wearing the poncho.
Is
Because I
she
feel like
touching
it's
the poncho?
soft.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's soft.
Yeah.
And then she's a sweater. So her head will be on my arm and it'll get sweaty and it'll stick. And
Yeah, she runs pretty hot.
yeah, there's just all sorts of like little tricks. Sometimes you got to stand up and bounce her. Sometimes you got to sit down. Sometimes it's big rocks. Sometimes it's small rocks. And you just kind of...
It's so funny. Sometimes he comes home from working out, and I pass her off so I can go shower or whatever, and he's just like, I can't stand and hold her anymore. Like we did biceps today, and my biceps just hurt.
That is true. They will cook my biceps some days, and I'll come home and she'll be wanting to have a stand-up day. Yeah. So I'm sitting here like holding her and like bracing with my other arm, and like she's only 15 pounds, but after an hour
15 pounds is heavy after an hour.
yeah.
It's just, it's amazing to hear you talk about this when you're out there throwing very large men around on the field. But this 15-pound angel, that's the kryptonite.
I guess so.
I guess so. I mean, I'm built for like 6-second plays,
You're right.
not hour
Short
long
game.
holding the baby. So, like I know she went to a game with her, and she just held her the whole time. And
I
I'm like,
forgot my baby. I was gonna wear her, and I
was like,
forgot
don't know
it.
how you did that.
Wear the baby, yeah, you can
I
do that.
forgot, and so I was carrying her the whole time.
How many
And-
games did Miss Daisy get to go to this
Just
year?
one.
Just one.
Just the very last one I took her to, yeah. And she, she sort of liked it. We'll get her used to it.
Probably very loud for her.
It was loud, yes. It was also chilly. We'll get you used to it.
How did you see Taylor change as a football player after having Miss Daisy?
The biggest thing I noticed was that he's always been very good about leaving things on the field. Like if something upset him, whatever. He never brought it home. And especially now with her, it's just he is always just focused on being a dad and her now. It's just amazing to see. And he's a better dad than we even thought. When we talked about, we were like, he's going to be a great dad.
It's like where expectations set low.
No, but I knew he was going to be a great dad. I just,
Come here.
he's blown it out of the water. It's
Yeah.
amazing to see.
What has surprised you the most about him being a dad?
I think probably just the way he interacts with her. It's just the sweetest thing. I mean, look at them.
Oh, I'm like,
They're so
I
cute.
like to like get her like laughing.
He gets her all
rile her
riled
up before
up.
bedtime, and it's okay.
Oh, look at your headband's
Um,
falling off. Do you want me to go bring her inside?
You gonna go sub her out,
Yeah, I think she's getting.
We'll help with your mic real quick.
Oh, it's okay.
or do you want
It's
me to do it
okay.
because I can go fast?
Sure. Yeah. It's okay. I know you're sad. Can you say bye?
Bye, Miss Daisy.
Bye.
Great man.
We'll see him on the way out. That was honestly pretty good.
Little peanut.
All right.
Good job. She just doesn't like being outside very much.
I know how cutthroat this business is as a family, whatnot. Is there another NFL family that you gravitated towards that has kind of helped you with this whole journey?
A couple, I think.
Yeah, I'd say
Probably.
there's probably multiple. I mean, I know
The Ragnows.
just a couple families like that, like we are like both like really like connected with would be Frank and Lucy. Yes. Graham and Allie, the Glasgows, who are coming back. Me and him were drafted together, so we've been friends for a long time. And then my one friend Joe Dahl, who he played for the Lions, and he's retired now, but him and Hannah, I don't know, we were just like kind of came into the league at a similar time, and we're like going through all these like new life experiences kind of at the same time. So I know they have a group chat with all the moms, and they're just talking about baby stuff all the time. And
It's so fun going through that with people that you're close with, you know.
Who know exactly what you're going through.
Yes.
Yeah. I heard there is an offensive line group chat though. Graham did tell me that.
there's a bunch of them. There's multiple. Yeah, there's like ones where from like 3 or 4 years ago in Detroit that a bunch of guys are in. I think like Rick Wagner's still in one of them. He hardly ever responds, but he's in there. There's like the new one. Like there's like 3 of them. There's a whole bunch of them. So
What was your reaction when Graham, because he said he had told you guys in this group chat he wanted to come back to Detroit, and he's like, I think they thought I was kidding. I wasn't. What was your reaction when
I was
he
pumped.
signed? Yeah.
I came home, and Hank actually called me when I was coming home from the gym, and he was like, hey, we just signed Graham. And I was like super surprised because I felt like it was like just came very fast. Yes. Like he got released. I think he went to Cabo again.
They've been like 3 or 4 times.
And then I mean, just over the years, he's talked about wanting to just come back and play with his like really good friends. Yeah. Not to take anything away from the guys who he's played with, but like we're just close. Yeah. So when he got released, I was like, maybe there's a chance. And he said he was just excited once he got signed to just be able to be with a group of guys who get along really well. Like I'm sure, like, you know, like our line, like last year, like we get along so well. Like everybody's super like cohesive. Everybody gets along really well. And it's funny that Graham got re-signed because at our wedding, him and Jonah were just talking a lot.
I remember that.
Oh, and they didn't know each other.
No.
Okay.
And
Jonah said
Jonah
something about,
said, dude, I would love it if you would come back and play in Detroit.
He manifested.
Yeah.
Jonah Jackson, the manifestor.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
because he just, you know, he's got a interesting sense of humor.
Oh,
He can just talk and like he's just fun to be around. And, you know, obviously he's a great football player. So I thought it was funny that Jonah had said that, and fast forward, he's back.
There we are.
When you braced Graham and Allie for, I mean, a whole different coaching staff when they were in Detroit. Mm-hmm. What did you brace them for culture-wise this time around?
Honestly, I haven't really had that conversation with him.
What would you say?
I would say that it's kind of like there's been a culture and an expectation established of just like trust and communication, without an agenda. Like you can openly communicate and communicate what you think and how you feel, and it's not like, oh well, let's read into this. Like, what does he really mean? I think that's one thing that I've really appreciated, is just being able to have candid conversations, and no matter, you know, what those feelings are, like, it's fine, because we're communicating, and that's what you need to be able to do. Like, ultimately, you boil the whole business of the NFL down, it's like it's us just people working with people, and you got to be able to communicate well. You know, you can't be having like any like silly like middle school cattiness. Like, it's just.
Have you experienced that in the NFL?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we're fortunate to have a staff who kind of encourages that atmosphere, and I think Graham will really like that. I think he'll really appreciate that. He knows Hank, which is nice, so there's, you know, a level of familiarity there. And I had actually talked with Dan like a week ago, and he just like loved Graham's personality. He was like, you know, Hank and Ben, they tried to, you know, explain to me what kind of personality he was, and he was like, I don't think they quite nailed it. And I think he's gonna be happy though.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna have a lot of fun, and just let's do it again in Detroit.
Yep. How special was this season? And Kyndra, you watching it, you know, very closely from your point of view, to go from 1-6 to end with 9 wins. How special was it?
I mean, Daisy and I were sitting at home watching every game, and just cheering them on. I loved it. It was awesome. And it's funny because in the beginning of the season, you don't know what to expect, and then towards the end, as they start, you know, gaining that speed and stuff, you're just really rooting for them. I loved it. It was awesome, and it was really fun for obviously Daisy's first season to be that one, and yeah, it was great.
Could you tell how happy he was?
Oh yeah, I think that was probably also part of the reason why he was always so amped up and ready every time he came home, because he was just, they were just steamrolling. So when he came home, he was always like, give me that baby. And he just always had, such a great attitude. And I love that.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to help the home life, although you said Taylor's very good at leaving it at work.
For sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't help.
I try to keep it in perspective, especially now with like having a child. Like that's like really good life perspective of like important things.
And how small some things probably are now.
Exactly. Because like the NFL is a very serious business.
Yep.
And, if you look at my entire life, like 99% of it has been like revolving around this one thing, which is like very serious to me, and I'm like passionate about it. But then you get a little perspective on, maybe your kid's sick, not feeling good, and like that is paramount to, man, there was a play at practice where I didn't necessarily like do what I wanted to do. And I feel like that has helped my performance, because I'm able to like compartmentalize, like I'm going into work, I'm going to do my job, I'm going to do the absolute best I can do, and then I'm going to be able to leave it when I leave the building, and go home and kind of like reset and get to be around my family. So it's been good life perspective. I feel like to not, beat myself up too much about things. So it's been good.
I feel like one thing you do when you come home, can we talk about the video games?
Yeah.
I think I saw a video of you both with headphones on gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iconic. What's the game of choice?
Well, right now he's really into World of Warcraft, which he has been since he was, 5?
I started playing World of Warcraft in 4th or 5th grade, and it's like about the nerdiest possible game you could imagine.
Is it? Okay. I have no scope of video games.
I mean, there's a South Park episode on it. It's like it's an MMORPG, so it's like a huge open world, and there's all these different classes.
He plays a feral druid.
Yeah, I'm currently playing a feral druid.
Yeah, I know what that is.
And you basically, you get to the end game content, you get into raids, and you kill like a bunch of raid bosses to try and get loot, and you try and do the big damage.
Yeah.
Because there's a third-party website that tracks how you do ranked to everybody in the world. It's competitive. But I'm playing a 15-year-old game right now, and I can't get enough. I love it. I can't get enough of it. And prior to Daisy, she was playing it with me too, because she played it as a kid too.
Yeah, we both played it, and I always joke, like, what if we had met like in game when we were younger, and
so
what
anybody,
if, like, it's possible?
Yeah.
Anybody who knows about this game will know that it's like a ultra neckbeard game. But I just love it, and there's like, I don't know, nostalgia with it, and they're re-releasing the old ones, so now I'm able to go back and kill the bosses and get the loot that I couldn't get as a kid because I wasn't as good at the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm waiting for Daisy to get her own headset.
I know.
Oh,
Please
yeah.
send pictures.
I know. We were talking about that. When do we get her own PC so she can start gaming with us? I don't know.
You guys are iconic.
So yeah, that's my current game. She loves Overwatch.
Yep.
So
I
we
have this off season actually downloaded the Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Legacy.
You both love Harry Potter, right? Yeah.
So that one's fun because it doesn't require as much time. And I kind of just do it like once Daisy goes to bed. It's kind of like a relaxed thing before we go to bed.
I was gonna say, do you have the carrier on and with Daisy?
No,
and
I haven't done
gaming?
that.
Okay.
I haven't done that. It's mostly when she goes to bed.
Yeah. That's why we try and get her to bed, and then
The guilty pleasure is the video.
like every 15, 20
Some
minutes
ice cream,
we gotta go.
you know.
Yeah.
whole
So
shebang.
it's been fun. I mean, we were in a big Call of Duty Warzone kick for a long time.
We've played them all.
Yeah,
honestly.
we've played all sorts of stuff. And then when, like I said, before Daisy was born, we were playing the previous WoW expansion, the Burning Crusade, and she was.
I was topping the
You
meters,
were
so they
in.
say.
You were in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we don't have to ask what the post NFL career will be. It'll be a professional Twitcher.
Easy
Maybe.
transition. I mean, I don't know if when you walk by the TV, like there's Twitch on the TV in the house right now.
I think I put Hunger Games on.
Yikes.
Taylor, I heard you got into the, what is it? The writing process, proofreading process with Miss
Oh, of
Michael's
hers?
cookbook.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She said when you were injured, not playing, you were over there on the computer proofreading this cookbook, right?
Yes.
How did that go?
He read through it probably 3 times.
Yeah, I think I read through the whole thing 3 times, and I feel like the first time through, like this is like it was almost like her life's work, so I didn't want to be like super nitpicky. So it'd be like if something was misspelled, maybe a
Well, you
capitalization
gotta let her
here and
know
there.
about that.
Yeah.
But then, like as we went on, and I would reread them, and we just talked about like maybe rewording this, or maybe let's condense this. Or,
He didn't want to hurt my
This is
feelings.
redundant, and she appreciated it.
And then just to see that all come to fruition and it's published, how cool was that for you, Taylor?
I think my favorite thing is seeing people who have gotten the book and, you know, maybe they have a gluten issue, or is it celiacs? They might have celiac disease, so they just can't eat certain foods, or they thought they couldn't, and now they can. Didn't Jeff, the Lions photographer, reach out to her and said, we had a friend who, was it their kid or was it them?
I think so, their son, yeah.
Had celiacs and thought he couldn't eat all these things, and they got the cookbook and he was able to, you know, eat all these foods that he loves. And I think that's the main thing that I like about it, is just seeing how
Me too.
it was something that was born out of like her wanting to eat her favorite foods, but like she couldn't, and then she's kind of got to share that with other people. And even if it just helped like one person, I know like that is like enough for her to like validate it.
For sure. Yeah, it's awesome seeing people are like, oh my gosh, I'm able to eat this and this and this again, because, you know, obviously that you know you can. It's just a matter of how to combine the ingredients to get it to come out. So, yes, it's very special to me to see that.
I know you sometimes you take a lunchbox to work. What's your favorite lunchbox meal?
Ooh, the good old camp lunchbox.
Yeah, that's a tough question.
Probably the meatball sandwich, right?
Yeah,
We have phenomenal chefs at the facility, but
yeah,
man's got to eat.
100%. It's okay to have an extra meal. So her and her mom have this meatball recipe, and we had started making paninis with it on sourdough bread with like pesto and provolone, and like I can eat like 4 or 5 of them.
Yes.
Like it's probably 20 meatballs. Like I just love them, and
It's
they
become
reheat.
like a weekly staple.
They reheat really well, and like, I mean, it's just like a sandwich is like an iconic like lunchbox thing.
We did baked spaghetti sometimes.
Baked spaghetti was really good. We'd do quesadillas.
So you just find a microwave in the facility and just heat
Yeah.
it up if you need to?
Yeah, and I don't know. It's just I know that I have this thing that I'm gonna like to eat, and I can have it and eat it whenever.
We also had a lot of leftovers.
Yeah,
So when he's in camp, I mean, it's just easy to send it with him. So I need to get that customized lunchbox still.
I know.
I should order it. I'm going to find an Etsy.
I'm going to look forward to that. Your general manager, head coach, your owner are down the street. Taylor, free agency is here. The season will be here. Drafts will be here. What's your biggest advice for them going into next season to get the Lions over the hump and into those playoffs?
I mean, I don't know how much advice I have for them, but I mean, number one, I think they're just like doing a really good job of kind of taking things in stride. Like as last season began, we were playing some good games, but we weren't winning games. And then we had a little dip, and it was like unwavering. Like they did not change like their approach because they believed in their process. And I think that's one thing that I think they will continue to do. That, I mean, I guess that would be my only advice is like, just keep trusting like your process and what you believe in and how you approach things, because it's starting to pay dividends, and hopefully those dividends will multiply and snowball, and we'll see a lot more success, and things will get even more fun. I don't know. I feel like the sky can be the limit, and it's just keep doing what you're doing.
Wise words from the oldest Lions player on the roster. Are you older or is Graham? Whose birthday's
30.
first?
Yeah, Graham's
Oh
older than
my!
me.
Happy for you.
Well, I'm getting some gray hairs in my beard and stuff now, and I'm like,
A 5-month-old might do that.
yeah,
Yeah, when he became a dad.
still be the longest tenured though.